Hi everybody, and thanks for viewing this YouTube fly tying tutorial. The pattern that I'm going to be tying for you today is without a doubt just a fish catching fly. It's known as the Flashback Pheasant Tail. There's only a slight difference between this pattern and that of its namesake, the pheasant tail, and that's the addition of some pearl tinsel. I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we get closer to that step. Already on this hook I have a 2mm tungsten bead. I prefer tungsten simply because it really helps to get the fly down just quickly, gets it down to the fish. You can go a little bit larger than 2mm if you choose. I have some brown 8/0 tying thread, and then finally the hook that I have in place is an Allen Fly Fishing W502BL. That's a part of their barbless series. Just has a great profile to it, and it's also, I believe, 1X heavy, which just again adds to that weight. I'll tie this pattern anywhere between sizes 10 the whole way down to 22 or 24. I'm going to add my pheasant tail. Before I do that though, I will show you this. I have a dyed olive pheasant tail here. I like using these dyed colors occasionally. This olive really represents a lot of the patterns that are in our Pennsylvania streams. I also like using the black. Now I will say that, undoubtedly the most popular color that I use is the natural. It just catches fish and it looks great. I'm going to trim about 5 fibers off of this tail. I want to trim them as close to the tail as possible, just to make sure that they are a nice length, so that whenever I'm wrapping them forward, I have lots of room lots of feather to hold on to. I'm going to line it up. I want it approximately the same length as the body. I'll just place a couple wraps, check their length. I might just shorten them up a hair. Once I'm sure I have the proper length, I'll just lock them in, again with only a few wraps. You don't need a lot of wraps here because there's a few other materials that you're going to be tying in. The first material is ultra wire, size small. I'm using the color gold. You can also use copper. When I tie this in, I'm going to let it go forward, not the whole way to the bead, but we'll say about 60 or 70% of the way forward. And then finally I'm going to add some pearl tinsel in. This is their size fine. I might do the same thing with this tinsel as I did with the wire. Whenever I tie it in, I'm just going to let it, we'll say, slant forward a hair. Now the key for this tinsel, whenever you tie it in, you really want to ensure that this tinsel is going straight back, because then when you bring it over the top, it will be lined up perfectly. I pull my pheasant tail fibers back just a little bit. I really want them just coming straight off that bend. Wrap forward. I may wrap back again just to help build up the body a hair. Whenever I pull those pheasant tail fibers back, I create just a little bit of hump right around where my thread is now. I just want to transition it so that hump kind of disappears. Next, I might grab these pheasant tail fibers. I might hold them straight up. I'm actually going to put them in a set of hackle pliers. I don't tend to use hackle pliers too often, but it seems like when I'm using these dyed pheasant tails, they are just extremely fragile, and they just will, I don't know, I just tend to have problems with them. There's one instance of this entire video that I would expect to have like an uh-oh moment. This is probably going to be it. But I guess I didn't. Okay, next time I bring my pearl tinsel straight over the top. Whenever you do that, if it's not lined up perfectly, you can still just take your finger in the back, make it go the direction you need it to go if it's not coming perfectly straight out. In fact, for me right now, it's not perfect. Not that I need it to be perfect, but I want to make it as close to that center as possible. So once I have it coming straight off the back, I'll just lock it in place. Again, just a few wraps. I don't need many here. I might take my wire. I'm going to bring the wire forward. I'm going to wrap this in the opposite direction. It's called a counter wrap, just to ensure that in the event that a fish happens to, bite through those pheasant tail fibers and they start unwrapping, this wire going the opposite direction will stop that. Once I get it close to the bead, I like to just extend that wire the whole way up, again to add a little more weight and also to build up the thorax. when I get the wire out of there, sometimes there's a little nub left. I think you might be able to see it in the video. If you ever had that wire nub there, just pull it towards you. For the most part, that's not going to cause too many problems. I'm just going to wrap back. And next I'm going to grab a couple pieces of peacock herl. Let me trim these off. Once I have them trimmed, I'm going to line them up by the tips. Trim them so they're the same length. And tie those directly in. Once I have them locked in place, I'm just going to wrap back a little bit. Kind of like with that pheasant tail, I really want to protect these fibers. Then I bring this pearl tinsel over the top as a wing case. Bring it back, wrap behind it. I might put 1/2 hitch in there. And then I'm going to whip finish this fly. Now at this point, once I put in the whip finish, you could say this is a finished fly. If you want to fish it as is, maybe add a little head cement, you are without a doubt good to go. However, I'm going to add a little bit of UV clear fly finish to it. It's the size thin, because right now I love the look of this pearl tinsel coming off the top, making it that flashback. However, whenever you add that UV clear fly finish, it really just adds a little bit to the fly. Does it really catch more fish because of it? I don't know. I mean, it definitely looks more Copper John-esque, if that makes sense. However, it just, to me, it just makes the fly look good, and I do believe it will catch more fish. Bring it the whole way up, grab my UV light, and cure this glue. It only takes about 10-15 seconds max to cure that. However, I don't know, it just looks too good to be true. So I typically will keep it on here for about 30 seconds. Turn it upside down to do the same. Look at it from all angles. And I'm sure it's done now. All right, for your sake, I will stop curing it. And now we have the finished flashback pheasant tail. This is just a great fly, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching me tie this. Just giving you a quick 360 of it. You can just see, once you've added that UV clear fly finish, that fly just really seems to take off. You've also added a little bit of durability onto the back in case this fly is bouncing on the bottom. You will notice this looks a little darker than the original. It's because I tied that dyed olive color when I was tying in the pheasant tail. All right, well, with that said, I do want to thank Allen Fly Fishing for the use of their W502BL hook. It's a great hook. Check that hook out and many more at allenflyfishing.com. And I'd also like to thank all of you guys. Thanks for viewing this YouTube fly tying tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them directly on this YouTube page, or you can email me at tcammisa@gmail.com. Thanks, everybody, for watching me tie this flashback pheasant tail beadhead nymph.